Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Fallout 4, the classic Bethesda game that was released way back in 2015 now, which seems amazing to me when I actually think about that. It's mind-boggling actually. This is without a doubt one of my favourite games of all time. I know Bethesda over these last few years have lost a lot of respect within the industry due to its handling of Fallout 76 and so on and so forth. But for me, all of that controversy doesn't detract from some absolutely belting games that they've put out over the years, and this being one of them. Now, there are many of those that have got differing opinions on the Fallout games. Many would say that Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game. I'm not really here to debate that. Me personally, Fallout 4 is my favourite Fallout game. And essentially the reason for that, and I will go into it a little bit more detail later, is the building mechanics in the game. This was the game that made me fall in love with building mechanics in games. And I can't tell you how many hours I have actually put into Fallout 4 and building my settlements over the years. I have probably played and completed the game, I think 3 times, and I am about 30 hours into my 4th playthrough right now, which is all the footage that you see now. It's from my 4th playthrough. And I've decided as well this time to indulge in the mods, to really try them out and go full on cheat mode, if you like, in regards to building the settlements I've really wanted to build, and getting all the weapons I want, and you name it. I've made the game as easy as I can this playthrough, just to try out all the mods and have fun with that. And I must say I am having a lot of fun with it. So for those of you out there who haven't played Fallout 4 yet, what are you missing? Well, what you're missing here is one of the best RPGs I think that the PlayStation has seen, and it has seen a lot of quality RPGs. Obviously, it's set in a post-apocalyptic future. You wake up in Vault 111 after being frozen for 200 years. Your wife is killed, your son is kidnapped, and it is for you to go out into the wasteland and try and search out where your son Sean has got to. Along the way, you will meet lots of allies, enemies. Initially, you join up with the Minutemen, and then you'll go on quests for them in regards to supporting local settlements to make them stronger. But ultimately, your main goal is to search out and find your son, Sean. Now, what is there to do in Fallout 4? Well, I mean, endless things, really. I mean, this is a game... Well, it's actually quite frightening when I consider how much time I've actually put into this game. Well into the hundreds of hours. And a big bulk of that will be on the settlement building, because I just find that just so addictive. I can literally lose 6 hours upgrading and building a settlement, and it's gone. The hours have gone before I know it. It's just so addictive, that game mechanic. But if you're not interested in building bases and things like that, you don't have to. It's not as if you have to do this to continue with the game. It's just a quest line that you can follow where you can build these settlements and things like that. It's not something you need to get overly involved with. Some of the settlements I build more than others. Some of the settlements I will just, make the defences a bit better, improve the food and water situation, put a radio signal up so it'll attract new settlers, put a few new beds down, and that's it. I kind of leave them to it, and that's about 60-70% of the settlements. The rest of them, there are about 3 or 4 in particular that I do like to put a lot of time and effort into, and almost like build my own little settlement where it's got a thriving marketplace with settlers coming in. You can give them all jobs to do in your settlements. You can put some on the defensive duties. You can put some on like the market duties, like working in the stores, things like that. And they will kind of get on and do the things that you ask them to do. But the RPG mechanics here are really in depth, in a sense of you can go put all your skill points into melee combat, you can put them into ranged combat, you can You can build your character however you want, basically. You've got companions in the game. A lot of companions you will meet in this, and you can have them come along with you on your adventure, or you could basically leave them in the settlement of your choice, and you can be the lone wanderer if that's what you want to do as well. There's so many different storylines here. If you've played Skyrim, then you'll have basically some idea what kind of quest lines you're going to get here. You will get like your main quest lines, and you'll get these side quests, and a lot of the side quests are much better and more interesting than the main quests. You've got to, you discover who the Brotherhood of Steel is, the Railroad, the Institute, and you'll go down the rabbit holes of all these quest lines, and you'll get really, really involved with it. And it's just a really fantastic and in-depth game. Now, in regards to how the game looks, I mean, it's not outstanding stuff here. I mean, you guys have played Fallout 76, and the main complaint with Fallout 76, well, not the main complaint, there were a lot of complaints with Fallout 76, was it just basically looked like Fallout 4 in an online world. So it just depends really on the aesthetic that you're looking for. In this day and age, you would probably say the graphics are nothing special at all when you compare to some of the games that are out these days. But looks aren't everything. I mean, this game has some great gameplay elements that are going to keep you coming back for more. For me, it's the base building that keeps me coming back for more. I'm constantly tinkering with my bases, making them, upgrading them, and making them really aesthetically different and fun to be in. But also as well, I mean, for you guys out there like a good old shooter, you've got that here as well. I mean, you can go in first person or third person here in the game, and you've got the option to, use a massive, wide variety of weapons, from melee to small handguns, machine guns, rifles, miniguns, missile launchers. I mean, there's so many weird and wonderful weapons to craft, find, or like get rewarded in this game. It really is endless, really, the possibilities in regards to weapons here, and it will just depend on what you prefer to use more. The combat itself, now, to anybody playing this in regards to the combat, and it is first person or third person, it is not in the same league as obviously the games like the Call of Duties, that their speciality is the shooting. So if they get that wrong in a game like Call of Duty, then they've lost. The main aspect of this game is not the combat, it's the RPG and the immersion and that kind of stuff. But I've always thought, and I still do, I think the combat in Fallout 4 is really fantastic and really fun. And you've got like a thing called VATs, which is what I like to use as often as I can. And VATs essentially lets you target a certain body part on an enemy. And some of the kills are just absolutely epic. I mean, they're really, really brutal. Depending on the weapon that you use, you'll disintegrate them. You'll blow them into a million pieces. You'll blow the heads clean off. It's graphic and gory stuff, and it is so much fun. I mean, it's over the top, violent nonsense, but it is really, really entertaining. And for me personally, after all these years of playing Fallout 4, I never ever tire of VATs and some of the brutal kills that are in it. It's got some wonderful DLC as well, some of the strongest DLC to be released in a game of this sort. You've got Far Harbor, Nuka-Cola, and a whole array of others that you can extend your time into this game and go on different quests and stuff. And I personally think it's great value for money, the DLC in Fallout 4. And the game now is so cheap to pick up. I mean, from memory anyway, I think was this given away as a PlayStation Plus game a while ago? I can't remember now because it's been in my library for so long. I've never really stopped playing it. The most I've ever stopped playing this is for about 6 months, and then I always go back and I'll keep my old saves, generally speaking, and then go in and check out and maybe start a new game. with a new character. I mean, what you can see here as well, I mean, I've had so much fun with the mods on this one. There's a mod where you can actually play it as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's what I did. I chose that character model so I could be Arnie while I'm playing Fallout 4. I mean, it's endless fun, really. I mean, the mods, you know, they do disable trophies, but you know, I haven't platinum this game because that doesn't necessarily always interest me in games. I'm not really interested in platinums, but I've got so many of the trophies, so I'm not worried about trophies being disabled when I'm doing this mode in regards to mods. There's content there's creation community as well, which is like content you can buy that has been made by the community. So there's other things that you can buy, but all the mods and stuff are free if you've never played it before, and it does really expand your enjoyment of this game. So I mean, yes, I mean, it's an old game, 2015, but it still gives so much enjoyment, and for the price that you'll be able to pick this game up these days, if you don't have it in your library and you've never played it before, and you've always wondered, you know, is it worth playing it? Look, the release of games right now is pretty slow. There's nothing amazing on the horizon coming out in the next few weeks other than Elden Ring. So if it's a game you can pick up so cheap now, probably a $5 or something like that, it's definitely worth adding to the collection. For me, it's a real classic, PlayStation 4 classic, and it's one that I know I will be playing for many years to come still, because it's just so addictive and it's a lot of fun to play. Yes, it's flawed, and the argument is as to what's the best Fallout is, but because of the building mechanics, this has always been my favourite Fallout game because of it. So I'm going to give this game a very strong 9 out of 10. Really worth picking up, guys, if you've never played Fallout 4. If you've never been that interested in trying the Fallout games before, you really are missing out on endless hours of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this, something of a classic film review. Classic PlayStation 4 review. And of course, I'll be back with loads more content on the channel very soon.